he has quoted already, a good trainer can make horse do anything, but a great trainer can cause a horse to do things for you.
You as a buyer, you as a client, you have the power. The money has the power.
People bring their kids because when the kids are young, see, it's not about the weight all the time. Yes, weight is important because you want to break the back of the horse. If you understand which horse you're riding,
That metal brush is to brush brushes. Grooms use them because they are extremely efficient to clean a horse. Check the bits also. If you go to a hotel, if you go to a temple, if you go anywhere where there's a horse, you ask them to open the mouth, you check the bit.
youth at challenge, which helps young kids, those who are at challenge, you can heal out of it. But horses helps in that procedure. It's not PTSD, but people have to use PTSD because
End on a good note for both of you, right?
So animals have been with us since millions of years, and they have been our companion. So why only we talk about dogs every time? So this time we want to bring up more on horses as well. When you're working with horses, you need to understand their emotions and body language, which will help in turn to be a best rider. Or even if you don't want to be a rider, you can always be a good friend, and you can learn many things apart from riding also from horses. So today we will be covering more from the horses. My name is Arun Shivakumar,
Hi, I'm Asha Arun.
and today we have a wonderful couple who runs a school called MNH, Manjeev Natural Horsemanship in Gurgaon. So Manjeev is the only Indian who is Monty Rubber certified in the entire Asia, and he teaches horsemanship in Gurgaon. And Charlotte also is in charge of the entire horsemanship of MNH in Gurgaon. So let's hear from Manjeev's and Charlotte mouth today about how to take care of horses and how to read their body languages and emotions so that you can be a better person, better rider, and whatnot. So let's welcome Manjeev and Charlotte today.
Welcome to our podcast, guys.
thank you very much
good
for
to have
calling
you.
us. As I said, it's a huge responsibility to be called as the only Monty Roberts certified instructor, and not in India, Asia. When you're the first one, it's always a good thing to be first one, but there's so much of pressure because if you do a little bit of wrong, my mentor will say, Manjeev, just be careful. So I am Manjeev Chaudhary. I've been following Monty's concept from 2019. I am currently the only certified instructor in India. And in our Manjeev Natural Horsemanship Farm or Equine Training Center or Education Center, you could say, we teach people about horses, how to understand them, how to work with them. And it's not always a force which you need to use. Sometimes we need to use our own consciousness to understand them and maybe just be a good partner or a good companion. That's what all you need. The rest is the history. Thank you for calling us.
Great.
Dr. Charlotte.
Thank you so much for inviting us today. I'm Charlotte, Manjeev's wife, and together we work towards helping people understand horses through horsemanship and especially groundwork. It's an amazing journey to be on, and we are very happy to be sharing our passion for horses and a love for horses and seeing other people develop these beautiful bonds and connections.
And thank you very much for you that I got the opportunity to sit here and talk about horses. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been. So thank you for Monty and thank you for Charlotte.
Oh, wow.
And thank you for you guys to call us.
Our pleasure.
So Manjeev and Charlotte, as a ritual, this is my first question always. How did you even get into this horse world?
Okay, I go first because my answer is very small, as I said before. Also, many people ask me the same question and I have the same answer. I used to work in hospitality, never touched one in my life before. Worked for 14 years in hospitality, and there's one day then we wanted to quit our jobs and get into horses. But I had no idea. We wanted to go backpacking. I didn't want to go for a sabbatical without anything, and she had planned already what to do, what not to do. As all wives, they know how to bring their husbands around if they don't say yes in the first place. So she took me to the place, and I was standing in front of the horse free. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I let her now continue how she managed or manipulated me into that sector.
Charlotte.
I think I'd like to backtrack a little bit as to why this project started in the first place. So as he mentioned, he had never been around horses. And I have been around horses. I never owned horses, but I'm French, and in France, it's quite common to go to the local riding club, which I did from a very young age. I loved horses. And in India, I wasn't really around horses. And then when we moved to Singapore, both of us for work, he was in a hotel and I had a corporate job. And I joined the polo club, in fact, in Singapore, which was pretty much the only riding you could do. And I used to go there a lot. And he used to come there to drink beer, basically. He would sit and drink beer while I rode. And I think after one too many beers, he said, oh, maybe I should try this riding thing, like how difficult can it be? And the crazy thing is, he sat on a horse and nobody could believe this was his first time on a horse. Like, he was just a natural.
Wow.
It was. I was quite jealous, in fact. I thought this is not fair. And so, in parallel, neither of us were very happy with our work life, or Singapore. It wasn't the place for us. So when we thought, okay, let's reassess sort of our life decisions, I had heard about this guy called Monty Roberts in the US, quite well known as a horse whisperer. And I thought, well, why don't we go and train with him? And since this guy seemed to be pretty good with horses, we could do something about it. He was actually not at all interested in horsemanship. He was obsessed with polo.
Oh my God.
But that was his thing. And I was kind of bugging. It's like, okay, well, let's learn about horses. You'll become a better polo player. That was...
I started playing polo, so I thought polo is the best thing to do, and I played hockey. So riding plus hockey on a horse, it was okay. It was my comfort zone. I could do that. But then she said, horsemanship, it's a 800 to 1,000 kilo animal standing in front of you free. I had no idea. So then she took it over.
So we go there. And bearing in mind that I was 25 then, so I had 22 or so years of experience around horses, and he had 0. So I basically had to unlearn everything I knew, and he could learn from scratch. But he was just naturally amazing with the horses. Like, everything we did, it just made sense to him. His body language made sense to the horse. It was just, it was, again, very jealous. It should have been me, but it was you.
Indirectly, it's you.
So when we then decided that we wanted to kind of make a life around it, we thought, so after so usually people who go to the Monty Roberts school already are professionals. They already have horses. So they go back to that and they usually practice with their own horses in their own establishment. We didn't have that. We didn't have horses. So we traveled the world for about a year and a half. We worked in, a polo farm in New Zealand. We were in Argentina. We were in Mongolia. We were in all these amazing places where we got to work with the horses, understand different business models, see, what made sense for us and stuff like that. And then eventually we decided to come back to India, where we thought that there was the most impact that method could have. And so that's how we came here and settled here and decided to open the horsemanship.
It's been like from 2017, we are back in India. I had my last stop in England. We were staying there and I was playing a little bit, working with the horses. So I thought maybe I can make it through in my polo career at the end. But it's not meant for me. So we came back in 2017 and slowly we started working more, and I got more into the horses and then eventually become a certified trainer for Monty Roberts. And
the only certified...
Oh, you can say that. It has a lot of responsibility. I love to say a lot of times, like, I'm the only one in India.
I love that.
In India or in entire Asia?
In Asia too.
In Asia, okay.
Yeah. But I like to...
We are so proud of you.
Thank you very much. Phew, thank God. It's worth.
Of course. This podcast is also, we are also more excited to have this conversation because we are also talking to somebody who is the only Indian who is certified across Asia from
Monty Roberts.
Monty Roberts. I have a follow-up questions of what you just spoke about. So So you must have spent good amount of time with Monty Roberts, right? So what is one specific lesson you have learned, which actually changed your entire life?
And sorry to interrupt. I also want to know like what Monty Roberts does and why did you approach him?
Yeah.
And
So,
it's
yeah, as I
quite
said
interesting.
before, I had no idea who was Monty Roberts. I just went to
It's
some place where some horses were there, and she said, "This is the place we're going to learn something about horses." Okay. So I had no idea what Monty Roberts, what does he do, why people are here, why half the world is crazy about him,
wow.
and what he has done so much about horses. But when more and more I started learning from him, and then I became a certified instructor later, the one thing which he does is at his era, like when he was in his 40s, 50s, he started doing the same stuff when he was 14, 15-year old. But then he started advocating that thing, which is like a non-violence method, that you don't have to hit an animal to teach or to communicate. All you can do is you can just listen to him, learn about themselves and them. So you don't have to use force at all. Nobody has a right to say to the other person or animal that you should do it or I make you do it, or you should, or you must, or I will. Because we use forces as human, we always want to control things, which he said, you know what, just let it happen. Don't use the violence. You can still do it. And he is 11-time world champion.
Wow.
So his horses performed definitely, and half of Europe crazy about him. He was a very close friend of Queen. He was the only one who was called in Queen's funeral after when she died, and he's the only Western cowboy who every year used to go to Windsor and train her horses and guide all her people.
Oh,
So yeah, to learn from him, it was a big thing. But to be honest, I had no idea at the beginning what I'm going and what I'm going to do. So that is one thing, and he has done this thing with a lot of humans also because he had foster kids, 40 kids I think initially he had. So it's not only because he says he's doing it also, he has proved in his equine training and with people as well. So now in his place, they have a procedure which helps kids at risk because you see in America there are a lot of things happening nowadays in the school. We shouldn't be mentioning it because a young kid of 13 or 10-year-old shouldn't be thinking about going to school and saving themselves. They should be thinking about playing games. But there are things happening in our world, and there are youth at challenge. Now parents are separating, which is also difficult for a young kid. So many things are happening. So there is a program called Lead Up, which helps young kids, those who are at challenge, and they need a little bit more support, which he does it with horses. And another thing is a war veteran or anybody who has a post-traumatic stress or trauma, they also come and get benefit by horses. He doesn't say PTSD, which is like it's a disorder. As Monty says, you're born with a disorder. It's PTSI, it's injury, and you heal from injuries. Maybe scars will stay with you, but then you can heal out of it. But horses helps in that procedure, in that process to heal you out of it. So it's not PTSD, but people have to use PTSD because it is the term which has been recognized by the government for give a certain amount of benefits. If you don't get that certificate, you will not get the help which you're supposed to get. But when you work about your own self, you want to improve in your own life, it is PTSI. So if you think it is only an injury, then you can recover faster than a disorder. Disorder is like you don't have a one limb or a leg or something which you cannot grow again. But this is an injury, you can definitely recover from it.
That makes sense.
So that is the important thing which I learned from him. I said, if he can do it, why can't I do it? And actually, next month he's becoming like he's 90 next
Oh,
month,
wow.
and he still jumps in the pen with the wild horses. At 90, he held the horse for the first halter himself.
Wow.
So motivating.
Very
His
inspiring.
love for them is
I had no idea what I'm getting into, but now when I see him, and he does 90 push-ups.
wow.
So he started when he was 80-year-old. He did 80 push-up in England. Then he did 88 in Brazil. Now he just left. No, he just been to Argentina last month, I think. Yeah, he just finished the demonstration in Argentina. So he did again. So he's a motivation. I say I can't do 9. You do 90. So in any ways, it's a motivation to be around him.
I've
Great.
seen a lot of your stories. I think you had just been there.
I try and go and help him. I see, the learning it never finishes. So whenever I get a chance, 10 days, 1 week, I get, and I learn from him.
Amazing. That's a gift.
And he's open to the phone call. He said, you know what, if you have any day, any problem, any challenge, just give me a call. Send me a video and give me a call and I'm here. So he's still open that much.
Great.
So should we always say that listen to your wife?
Oh, 100%. I always say that. You know what? You're going to crib, you're going to cry at the beginning. It's a trial and test
Arun,
it.
Okay.
listen to your
But
wife.
at the end of the day, you know, they will push you for certain things which you will never do it by yourself. I write it down and I have experience in my life. But I am very grateful that she pushed me for that. There's so many things. This is one of them.
You guys run a firm called, can I call it as a firm?
Farm.
A school or a center.
It's a school.
Yeah,
Okay. So you run a school in Gurgaon by the name of MNH, Manjeev Natural Horsemanship.
Yeah.
So now we are coming to the main segment where we are trying to spread this awareness to all the viewers. Now, please help me to elaborate or define what is horsemanship.
She explains it better.
I think, at least for us, what we focus on is helping people understand horses. And we specifically in the school do it through groundwork. In India specifically, horses means riding. It's a very straightforward equation. And
I think that is a normal concept. Everybody has it, right? Horse, it's right.
So yes and no. Things are changing a lot in the West, you know, in the US or in Europe, where people are building a connection with horses from the ground. This is something that's, but you're right that for the majority of people, the thinking is horses and riding. But at the same time, everyone wants to build a connection with the horse. And what's really interesting, and this is what we try to share with people, is that if you think about it, when you're on the horse, you can't see the horse properly, and the horse can't properly see you. When you're on the ground, this happens, that communication happens. And so the ability to understand the horse and for the horse to understand you is much, much, much stronger on the ground. And so the idea of this school is to bring that opportunity and to be like, okay, well, for whether you are a professional who is facing a specific issue with a horse, you know, you might, I don't know, be a professional show jumper and maybe with a specific horse you're facing an issue that you're struggling to solve. You want to deepen the understanding of the situation, and that can be done through groundwork. Or you are completely new to horses, you've just bought a horse, you want to understand how best to take care of them and things like that. So that's really the focus. So horsemanship means basically anything that's around horses. But for us, the idea is really to be able to build the understanding of horses through groundwork. And also, I think a lot of people ask us, it's a very common question when people come to the school and they're always saying, but can the horse understand me? Can the horse understand what I say? And we always say, that's not the real question. The real question is, can you understand the horse? You know, and it's like, oh, yeah. And horses have natural connections to us, but there's a lot of things that we make that make no sense to horses. And there's a lot of things that horses make that unless we are trained, we can't guess. And I think that's where it's interesting. And it's not because there's something wrong with us. It's just that our mind is very different. And that's really what the school is about, is to be able to create this understanding and connection with horses through that.
Wow.
So is it right if I say that if you start working in your school or start understanding your horse, that also helps while you're riding?
100%. Absolutely. In fact, if you think about a lot of the schools in India specifically, where people don't even prepare their own horse. 99% of riding schools in India, you turn up, the horse is ready, you hop on, and then at the end you hop off and the horse disappears, right? So it's almost like learning how to ride a motorbike in this case, because you have no understanding of what the horse is communicating. You're literally only focusing on left, right, leg this, leg that. And that's a very, very technical approach. It's not necessarily wrong. And, you know, for the people who want to do that, that's totally fine. But for those who want to understand the horse, then being on the ground level makes much more sense. And then you carry it onto their back. Everything that you learn on the ground is relevant on the back. And in fact, when you train, and you have a lot of experience in this, when you train what we call a green horse or a wild horse, you don't stand a chance by going on their back. Like, they'll kick you off immediately. Everything is built from the ground, and then you're able to get on and build that connection. It is impossible to have that connection without doing the groundwork first, in my opinion.
No, I'm just going to add that, yeah, it's 100% true. I'm going to just relate to this to a Formula One racing. You know what? All those drivers, they are top 20 in the world. Why they are best in the Formula One? Because they know what's underneath them. It's 1,000 horsepower. And they know what the tire is saying. They know how maybe the dragger at the back, which makes sure that they have the balance. How that behaving? What is the wind? What is the rain coming? And what time I need to change? How many tires and which tires I need to put? And on the turn, how much I need to accelerate? Which gear I need to go? So that makes them best driver in the world. Exactly. Horses are never used for as a pet. They were used for transportation, mode of transportation. And yes, you're going to use them. But to use them, you need to understand them first. Yes, we want to ride them, but if I don't understand them, I cannot ride them. I can sit on them because somebody's holding, but when he's going to throw me down, I cannot handle. If the horse wants to throw you, it'll take only 2 seconds. No matter how good rider you are, if they think that, no, today is not the day, you are not riding, they will throw you. We have seen horses flipping over. Bucking is the one thing. You might be a very good rider, you will not come off the saddle. But when the horse flips other way around, there is no way which can hold you. The first thing is your legs. So if the horse wants to kick you, he'll kick you out. If that big animal is letting you, means that is understanding your perception, like how you are feeling. And if you understand there, then it is a combination. When you have a partnership, it's always better to understand before you. Like when we started learning riding a bike or riding a car, elderly or like whomsoever we learned from, they said, you know what, clean it first. Check the air pressure, tire pressure. There is a water in the windscreen wiper or not. So all those things, if you understand, then you understand what you're going to drive later. Everybody, even the pilot, just goes and checks his wing and just checks all. Before any pilot takes off, he has a huge briefing in his hand. What is the wind going to do? What kind of a fuel I have? What is the weight? How much passenger? And what I'm going to do. So which gives you understanding how the ride is going to be. Same thing supposed to happen with anything which we're going to use or do. We should be able to understand what's happening there. In our case, it's not a machine. It's a living being. So they have a feeling. They understand the pain. You cannot abuse your relationship. You have a responsibility because you stable them. The word stable means you keeping a symbol of speed in a box. Horse is a symbol of speed. We put it in our car. Horsepower, this many horsepower, this many. It's a symbol of speed. What are we doing? Right. Putting them in a box. So that's why it's box called stables. Wow. So we need to understand it's our responsibility. That speed, we have kept it in somewhere. And then once you bring that speed out, she's going to go. And how are you going to handle it if you don't understand it? So understanding is very important. And as Charlotte says, it's, you know what, they're very, very important in our day-to-day life. And it's a 50 million-year-old species.
50 million.
Yeah. The first fossil you saw, it's 55 million roughly.
Wow.
And we started collecting them 7,000 years ago, started using and breeding for specific 5,000 years ago. So I always tell them, what are you going to teach a horse? Nothing. They run, they jump, they turn back, and they run again. Or they stop by nature. It's in their DNA. I am not telling them how to stop and run. They run themselves. What I'm going to teach them? Nothing. I'm just learning how to be a passenger or how to be a good partner with them. So I cannot teach that species. They did not need us. They've been surviving before us. They will survive after us also. Yeah. We need them. So they will not speak our language. We need to listen to their language. So listening is always, people say, horse whisperer. I always say, I cannot whisper thing to them. I can only listen. They are talking. I just need to listen. I cannot speak back.
Listening is the problem in the humankind now.
So
they just
it's very important to understand about horses before you start thinking about doing anything with them. And that's what we teach. Like, you know what? You understand that. animal, and then you do whatever you want to do it. Because
True.
once you have a partnership, you do stuff.
Beautiful. We remember taking a workshop
One
with you
day,
because we
I
just
thought he's gonna fall asleep, but he was brave to sit through the entire day after his night shift.
the
I think
night
I still
shift, yeah.
remember.
So we had a horse which was so unplanned.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
we didn't know what to do now. There's a big dog because we have been dealing with dogs all the while.
No, I was awake just because in the entire course, in the workshop, my mind was just thinking about our horse. Her name is Vajra.
Yeah. I remember.
So I was just thinking about her. That's why I was able to grasp whatever you taught us the other day.
So what's
It,
one or two things that you remember learning, thinking like, oh, I wouldn't have guessed, or something
I
that.
think he actually took us in the arena, and he gave us an exercise that without touching the horse, without
Move.
communicating,
Yes.
can you move the horse, and can you make the horse listen to you? And we tried, and ups and downs. We tried everything.
we were blank.
That is one of the best thing which I learned, and even today I actually follow that.
What I learned was I didn't know that even without doing any gesture, you're putting a pressure on a horse, like when you are near them, and how to put that pressure. What is the right way to do that? Because they can freak out
Oh, yeah.
at any
Clearly.
point, and they are huge animals. There's something that we are doing wrong. That's the reason they are freaking out. So just throwing light on those small things, and that exercise what you made us do, yes, no,
Yes.
Um,
It's a very important. Yeah,
it,
it's a
it,
very.
it was so important for us to know because we feel like, okay, we have a thought and we feel like, okay, my horse will understand it. But how? When I am in my horse place, and when somebody is telling, and that's when I know what is the problem which is going mismatch. Like, that person knows what he's saying, but if it is not conveyed well, then I'm confused, what should I do? So that was the day when I said, okay, I need to communicate well to my horse to make them understand. And that was an eye opener.
I
It
think
was
yes and no. It's
beautiful.
it's a very informative thing that it's not only with the animal or with the horses. It's with your personal life too. When you work in your professional life,
Yeah.
how much you need to do, how much you need to ask, and when to let it go. So that is the very important thing to understand the situation. As Charlotte says all the time, having a dog at home is not only one thing that you take them on a leash for a walk. There are so many things you do with your dogs. You play and their emotional support and thousand other things. It's a 10% to just take them for a walk. Same thing with the riding or a horse. It's only a tip of the iceberg which you do is just ride them. The rest of the thing is not even visible. People don't even go there.
Man, I think I have many questions, but just a follow-up questions with what the conversation, what we have, and then I'll hand over to her because she also has a lot of questions. You said your school right now is for people who has horse and who have problems with coordinating with their horses to improve their bond and everything. So, is your school also for those people who doesn't have horse and they are going through other kinds of problem psychologically, emotionally? There also you will be able to help.
See, what we can do is having a horse around you, it's itself a lot of energy because they are positive energy. In our Indian mythology, also, it's a very well worshipped dignity in our prayers. Horses, we worship them. So they have a positive energy all the time. So it's not only that, what, if you have to do something with the horse riding or training, then only you'll get the benefit out of it. It's just a huge animal who's sitting next to you, which teaches you a lot of stuff. Sometimes, as I say, like, let's take a small example. If I have a problem in my life and I'm not able to handle it, I'm just talking like a therapist, but it's not a therapy. It's just a relationship. What I see and how people also get benefit as a presence of a horse
Learning
around them.
concept.
Yeah, because every problem is a big problem for us, and horses also just replicate that situation when you're around horses because it's a huge animal. It worries you, but it is also a subtle animal. He's not just jumping around you. So it teaches you how to just control your emotion, regulate yourself. Yes, you're worried about this is a free big animal who can kick and bite, but he's not doing anything. more you control yourself, the better the animal will be, because horses have around about 5 meter magnetic field, so they can synchronize with you and they can regulate your pulse also.
5 meter
Yeah.
radius.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you come into a 5 meter distance of the horse, they can read your pulses very quickly and they can see what you're going through.
Wow.
So that's why there's an expression, no, horses can feel your fear. It's not because they're just looking at the fear, they're just looking at your pulse rate, your body, your muscles are stretched, your jaws are tied up because you're not breathing better, and your every body moves more like a motion is not natural. It's just very rigid. So that's how the horse respond to. And if you start learning about yourself, you start relaxing, horse also gets relaxed, and then you understand, okay, you know what, this is the big problem, and but I can manage, I can do it. All I need to do is just breathe, think about it one more time, and then let's see what can be done. So horses teaches you that a lot, which we use it for people, those who are seeking some kind of emotional support. They can just don't have to do anything, just go sit next to a horse, you'll see the horse will teach you everything. You don't have to say anything.
They regulate your nervous
Yeah.
system. Yeah.
So sometimes all you need to do is have a friend around you. Just don't talk. Men especially. We don't have girls to talk. We just have men and bar. We just go to the bar, just sit each other. We will not ask single question. How was your day? No. Just sit with me. I just need a company. We will not speak a single word and we'll say after 2 hours, thank you very much. That was therapeutic and I'm going home. Without a word. So that is sometimes happens. So for us, it works. With horses too.
So your school offers people who
Yes, so
are not a horse
it doesn't
owners?
have to be that you need to be around horses. You just come. It teaches kids also. See, people bring their kids because when the kids are young, no, it teaches them the taking ownership of their own action. If I shush this animal, what will happen? He might just kick me or bite me or spook me. So they start learning when they're quite young. You know what are the consequences of my action? So it's also a good upbringing. So people do bring their kids, learn about empathy. You know, a horse needs a little bit more soft side from you, and then once you have that kind of feeling for the animal, what you will bring it back to you. You see the kids how happy they are after some time. So it's not only about horse training. It is basically what we do, but that majestic animal has other things to give it to you. So anybody can come and understand, because it's so important to see how that big species just regulate themselves and they do things which we never even expect. It's not written anywhere. Maybe some old books, but the books are not there anymore. All you need to do is just see and experience yourself.
Wow.
So anybody can come. It's just a life experience.
Sorry, I have one more question. You just spoke about the 5 meter radius, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get my own live example and my experience. I want to have an answer for that as well. So one of our horse, I occasionally ride. She tries to ride almost every day. So one of our horse, when she goes, she has that fear a little bit. So when she sits on him, he usually he starts with walk, and once she is okay, and when she says trot, sitting trot, canter is a little far away thing, then he thinks whether to be cantering or not. But when I go, because I'm not scared, if I fell, I don't care. So I have those experiences multiple times. So as soon as I go and sit on him, he doesn't want to walk, trot. He directly canters. Why do you think is happening?
It's your energy. Because horse is synchronizing with your energy. You are like a confident person. Okay, what will happen? I'm okay, I'm going to go. But you're not trying to interfere with what the horse is going to do. Because I don't think so in your head that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to have a controlled kind of a gait. Now I just want to walk. Or now I want to canter. But sometimes what happens, the horses also think, you know what, too much energy, I need to get away from this. So it just needs to be seen. Without looking at it, I can't put it in a box. It's probably the horse wants to be going because he feels comfortable with you. Or maybe on the other side, because he feels there is so much energy, I need to get away from here. Horses don't want to run if they don't have to run, because as I always say, they don't eat protein bars. They eat grass, and it has very less nutritional value in it. So they are very smart. They don't want to waste energy. So when they are going forward, when you're asking them, makes sense because, okay, now I've been asked, so I have to do it nicely. Okay, I'll do it. But the horse is jumping out straight away. It can be only done twice if he's too happy or too worried.
If I could add, we also say that the horses are like kind of mentally like 8-year-old children in terms of that they are very good at seeing what you are okay with, what you are okay with, what you're not okay with. So even us, you know, our horses will do different things around him and they will do different things around me. So when you see something like that, the question is not necessarily why is the horse different, but why are we different? You know, what am I doing? So, like he said, without seeing, we can't tell. But a very simple possibility would be that in the past, every time you hop on, you like to go straight off and you're happy to go. And she likes to go slower. So he knows specifically that
what
with
she
her,
likes.
we take it easy. And he knows that with you, we go, you know. So like patterns and that kind of energy and excitement, they will pick on it very, very well. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
because
sure,
that is what-
habits is for sure.
that is what I wanted a kind of the confirmation, validation, because I see whenever I sit on him, I feel that children hops right when they're running with happy. So that's what I feel when the moment I sit, he starts like hopping, not even canter. It's like happy hopping time, and I don't pull the rein or I don't put a lot of pressure. Slight pull, he understands, he stops, and then again he
But what do you do when you sit on him first thing?
I just hold the reins and I just give a small kick. That's it.
Okay. What you do next time, just try this thing. You sit on a horse, don't do anything. Don't press your leg, no heel, no tickle, nothing. Just take a step back. 5 seconds, and then drop the reins. You'll see what will happen. Just change one pattern and you'll see. You'll figure out whether the old habit was out of excitement or worry. Because we don't do too many things with our horses. We just always say they learn from anticipation, and then they are associative thinkers. So they associate, as Charlotte says, maybe with you easygoing, maybe he wants to go a little faster. So, okay, you know what, why waste time? Go into the same thing which he wants. Ultimately, what the horse wants is to go back at rest. They love us, but they love their rest and peace more than anything. So what they want is, okay, when Asha comes, you know what, she goes for a walk, trot, canter for half an hour. They will know if you do every day half an hour. And what we do is we sit on them. First thing we do, we just pressure, and then the horse goes. And horses are into pressure. They don't like pressure at all. So they want to be aware of that pressure. And then they think, you know what, when he sits every time, you squeeze, and I go onto a canter, and his legs goes away. So that is where the release is. So I would straight away when he sits, I go to the canter before he touched that leg on my barrel. So this also unintentionally we teach our horses. A lot of riding clubs this happens. Horse doesn't stand for mounting. He's not standing because you don't give him a chance to stand. What we do, we sit on a horse, we tickle the barrel or a kick or whatever. Nobody likes to have a kick in the ribs. So what he thinks, you know what, every time he sits, he kicks, and then I move, and then the kick goes away. So how to not to get that kick? When he sit, move. So he's just jumping one step, because that is what we want. We want them to move. So if he already moved, then he will not get kicked. So that horse starts to anticipate and go to the second step, and that makes the horses not standing for a mounting, and the horse becomes bad. We taught them. It's not their fault. But in your case, maybe he thinks like every time Arun comes, and then when I go jump, and he's free, because when you go on a canter, our legs are a little bit away. We can't keep it too long. So I don't know. So that's why I said I need to see. He might be very happy with you because every time you come as a confident person, and he likes to go. Because horses definitely want to go and enjoy if the rider is happy and they have a very good connection with the rider. But on the other side also, horses can be very worried because every time this person comes and he's going to kick me or put pressure, and I don't want. So I give it to him what he actually wants eventually, and then why have the procedure in the middle which is uncomfortable for me? So could be either way, but I can only tell by just looking at the horse's body.
Understood.
Okay, on this note, 3 things I want to ask. I might forget it. So, first thing is, what is it about the verbal commands? Can the verbal commands be used when the horse is understanding it so well? Should we really tap or kick the horse? That is one. And the second thing is, Second thing is, yeah, I wanted to know if what is the ideal weight of a person who can ride a horse?
Oof. You're going to
And
offend so many people here.
they should know,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
there are a lot of
And
people who are just
I am one of
misusing the
them.
horse, and I
Okay,
really
okay.
don't like it. So I want you to please enlighten that.
Wow. Okay.
And there was one
Because the last question is
third-
most important thing, because somewhere I had read a specific weight, not more than that, and that's the reason why I am actually not riding.
Eating? Not eating anymore?
No, not riding anymore
he's
to
not
make sure
riding
that
for some time
yeah,
because
it's quite some time
he's
now.
exceeded 80 or 85.
I think
I'll tell you the,
the UK government actually, I think, passed a rule
Yeah.
that the rider should not be more than 20% of the horse's weight, I think.
Which is, I think, yeah, normally we do. But
Or 25,
having
something
said
like
that, it also depends what breed you're riding, right?
That's true.
Correct.
You shouldn't be riding ponies. Like, I feel so out of the place and abusing animal when I was riding Mongolian ponies. Though they are the hardest thing existing on the planet of Earth. Like, they just go up and down, trotting and running. They're so strong. But it doesn't mean that I just sit on them for all day long, but that's the only horse they have. And Mongolians, they are sumos in Mongolia too. So every Mongolian is a born rider. So they've been on a horse or they do riding. I'm not going there. We started the first thing, the verbal commands. See, verbal command, as I said, it's a conditioning of your horse, like how the horse wants to move, and then the horse becomes bad because he's not standing. Similarly, this is also you just conditioning your horse. Horses don't speak English or Hindi or any other because there is no language. It's a communication gesture. But they understand the pitch and the consequences, pressure and release. That's the main thing the horses understand. When the pressure comes, what I need to do to get away from that pressure. So initially, when the horse has been trained, we are connected or we have something in our hand to motivate them. So there are stimuli, either the line or the whip, which normally, or voice or anything which motivates them. It's kind of a pressure. Our bodies are pressure, our eyes are pressure. So let's say we are exercising a horse and I want to condition my horse to trot and he's going on to a walk. What I do, I say, trot. My horse is not moving. I say, trot again. And he's not, because they don't speak English or whatever trot means to them. They don't understand what is this thing. They're like, okay, whatever. But what happens after? I say trot and I take quicker step towards my horse. I spook my horse and whoa, what is happening? Because horse never leaves the eye away from you. They will always looking at you because you never know what this person will become, a moron or a devil in the next second, and I have to run. So they will never take their eyes away from us. We might be talking to each other and the horse is doing video it because it's two different kind of a species. So we are different behaviors, how we behave. But then you condition that horse in a way that, you know what, next time when I say trot and you don't move, I'm going to put pressure. So it depends what kind of a horse you have and what kind of a person you are when you're training. You might just say, you know what, trot, and then you just give a quick one step, so which push your horse or put a little bit more pressure on the horse, and he takes the trot step. He changes the gait. And the minute he goes on a trot, you relax. And the horse understands, whoa, okay, so next time when Asha just move quicker towards me, I go to a second gate, because the minute I go to the little bit faster gate, she relaxes. So how to get her relaxed and me leave myself alone? I need to take that step faster. So he understands that next time that pitch trot, the voice means something to do, because over the, like horses or any other animal, they just are animal of behavior and pattern. They do same thing over and over for their life. So we also need to condition them, and then it might take a week. Every time you say trot and then a quick step, trot and a quick step. Soon, either you say trot or you just take a quicker step, a horse will understand. Either your body move faster, then he will pick up trot, or you just stay nice and calm but say trot, because he knows what's coming after. In our case, I'm talking about very, very subtle and smooth and nice way to tell a horse. But this is not the case all the time. 90% it's a whip coming. Or a sound of that whip. So trot, he doesn't go and he knows what's coming after that voice. So he knows. Next time when somebody says trot, he goes because the pain is not good. He doesn't like it. So he's associative thinker and he knows. Same thing. You say canter. Now he's already in trot, and you say canter and he's not going. You add a stimuli. I add my body or my voice or something which is not creating any pain. But people have lunging whips, which is 15 feet range, so it goes around the quarters. And then the horse doesn't like that pressure. So next time when he says canter, here's a canter word, he goes to next gate of the speed. And eventually you say walk, trot, canter, and he does it. But it's not because he's all of a sudden started speaking English, because he understands what is coming after that. So he knows. When we train young horses, know what we do. Monty says, take the time it takes, so it takes no time. So you have to teach them and take your time when you're making them in the beginning, because then it becomes the part of their day-to-day habit and it's their nature. Then you don't have to fight it after that. But if you do shortcut, then every time you have to have a little bit of argument with the horse. So this is very important. You take and you teach them nicely. So the voice command and conditioning is a not bad thing. It's just how you teach them. So, and it is very nice because your horse is able to communicate with you with your voice. But the way you teach them, that's the only thing.
Because when I have gone to a couple of riding schools, they say that don't use no voice command, just the legs. It's maybe because they are making us used to the legs also, and they are asking us to avoid the voice command.
I think
So
they
I was a
are
little
dressage
confused.
riders.
So
Because they're not allowed to use their voice in the dressage competition. So probably they're trainer from dressage or, and you say whatever. I don't think so. Maharana Pratap, who's riding the horse, he never spoke to his horse. He would have said, Mera beta and all this stuff. Everybody will love our animal. We speak to them. We speak to them in a way that they speak back. But no, they don't understand, but it is our emotion, so we do it. Speaking to your horse, not a bad problem. I think how you do it, that is the thing. So talk to your horse, no problem. But yeah, maybe there are rules and regulation in dressage. You can't make a noise. There you can't do it. So probably.
right.
Otherwise, I don't see any problem.
So two things what I've learned from them is one, being in the moment.
Yeah,
I
for
can't
sure.
be just like casual. They can just take off. So I'm very in the moment and looking at them. What is there? What is the environment? Because I've had that accident happen once.
Yeah.
My horse just took off and my thighs is like off. I'm not holding him.
Yeah.
And it was like crazy experience. And I am always there and now. And I tell my staff, nobody disturbs me at that time. And one more beautiful thing, what my horse taught, if you want to throw more light on it, whenever I am trotting, I'm very scared to canter. So when I say canter, he's like, you're not ready, I'm just going to trot. And he never gets into canter. But that one day when I was like, and I said, canter. And that's the day he did cantering. So
I'll tell
they
you.
feel our energy.
A little bit about this
Is
later,
it-
but we'll cover your second question, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
weight.
yeah.
Second question.
So, see, it's not about the weight all the time. Yes, weight is important because you want to break the back of the horse. If you understand which horse you're riding, if I have a more weight, I will have a bigger horse, like a warm bloods or like a hunter jumper or quarter horses. But the most important thing is you're riding. Even if you're 50 kilos, if you don't know riding, you can break a back of a horse because you're bumping.
Right.
So first thing is riding. Second thing is your equipment. If your saddle is not taking the weight where it's supposed to be, it doesn't matter what weight it is. 15 kilo weight also create a pain. You see the cowboys, they are 110 kilos, but they're fantastic riders. The saddles are fantastic. And the saddles are huge. Those saddles are like double the size of or weight of what English saddle is, but the weight is distributed on both sides of the spine properly that it doesn't affect the horse's maneuver. So your equipment and your riding, that's the two basic things. You need to make sure that it is there before you even thinking about weight.
Got it.
And then it is the social responsibility that I should not be too much, because if I'm learning, I should learn when I'm light, just for the horse's back. But once you understand the riding, you can be 150 and your equipment is perfect and you chose a right breed of a horse to ride, you can ride it. It's not a problem because you're going with the horse's rhythm. You're not going against the rhythm of the spine. So when you learn, that's why I always say start early, because you're young, you're lighter, you get that thing in your body and then you become already a good rider. Then you put on weight, doesn't matter because you have the good rhythm. But at the end of the day, yes, nobody wants to be overweight, right? And in India, we are not more than 6.5 feet those who are riding. If it is too tall, you don't want to ride also. I've never seen tall 7 feet riders. It makes no sense. Your leg touches onto the horse's knees. That's what happened with the Mongolian pony. I was riding and I thought I'm going to trip my own horse because my legs were going underneath his knees. So, yes, it is important to not to overweight, but especially when you are a beginner rider. But if you know how to ride, your equipment is right, your horse is well balanced, the top muscle, because there are so many aspects. You can't just say, you know what, you are overweight, so you cannot ride. If I am 50 kilo, my horse is undernutrition, the spine is protruding up, my saddle is not good, the pommel is rubbing the withers. I cannot debate on those things. So there's so many things you need to be able to look after. So yeah, I think it's up to us, and
Sure.
we, not only one thing we can consider and not the other one. So putting onto somebody, you know what, you're overweight, I think it's not fair. It has a lot of elements to go together, and if you're a little bit heavy but you agile, why not? I've seen polo players, those who are like 110 kilo, but they're lethal at the field and they can ride.
Wonderful. Thanks for
So,
that.
No.
I mean, coming back to the horsemanship, till this point, what I understood was if you learn about your horse and how to communicate and stuff like that, you can be a better person with the horse, or you can be a better rider, or you can be a better human if you are not a horse rider. I just want to tap at this particular question where there are millions of horses in the entire world. So people who are not learning about their horses through the horsemanship, but people who are already taking care of their horses, riding and stuff like that, how different will the horse be without communicating or without learning the horsemanship? Because there are many people who are still running their jobs, right? They are getting the work done from the horses, but they wouldn't have done this communication, schooling and stuff like that. They're still whipping the horses and getting the work done. Maybe the horse is scared, but still they're getting the work done. So how different is that compared to the horsemanship when you're learning and then bonding with your horse and then getting the best work?
I think I can answer this because I've been through both. So up until going to the US, I was in traditional horsemanship, and I used to events, dressage, cross country, show jumping at quite a high level in France. And I've always loved horses, like very, very much. But I never thought about what is the horse thinking. It was much more about control and about what you were expecting out of the horse. So you cared for it in terms of, we brushed them because no one else would brush them for us, so that's something we had to do. And then you'd always take them for, grazing after the ride and stuff like that. But if your horse in the stable, for example, was bitey, you wouldn't think... So the difference that you're asking between somebody who has done some horsemanship and not is if you have a horse that's biting in the stables, for example, you think, okay, why is this happening? And you have tools to deal with it. Back in my days, the only tool you had was either you tie the horse on a very tight rope so he couldn't bite you, or even we'd have a whip with us in the stables to kind of defend ourselves, things like that. Today, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how to retrain the horse so that we can recover from, it's usually a very bad experience that's happened over times with the horse. So that's one example. Another example is in show jumping, if the horse refused on a jump, you'd automatically think that, the horse was being naughty or taking advantage. I remember always this thing like, don't let them take advantage. Don't let them take advantage. Today, I understand that makes no sense from the horse's perspective. They're not out there thinking like, what can I do today? And so, again, loving my horse, I was told, if the horse is refusing, you go back in and you whip and then, and that kind of thing. Today, I'm able to understand, okay, we got a refusal. What happened? Let's think about this. So it's much more about the horse's psychology and how this affects their behavior. And the beautiful thing is that a lot of people think that, if you go down that road, then you become a tree hugger and you never do anything with the horse. I compete. I still take my horses out to competition, but my approach is totally different. And on top of having tools, to deal with issues, it's so much more pleasant. Because on the journey, you're not thinking like, that stupid horse, that naughty horse, so I have to show him or show her. You're thinking, I wonder what went wrong there. I wonder what I can learn from this. And I think it transforms, like having been there, it transforms my experience of not just me against the horse or me having to dominate the horse or show the horse who's boss, but more in terms of like, I wonder what's going on in their head that's making them do this or misunderstand this kind of thing.
I think
I had one question. I just wanted your suggestion on that. If my horse is not in the mood to give a riding that day, or maybe I am not in a good mindset, after this conversation, I think I'm looking into myself that maybe I'm not myself that day when I'm riding him.
It's always you. It's always
us.
I always say the horse is not doing anything. It's not all horse is the problem. Just look it in the mirror.
Absolutely.
That's the problem down there.
That helps. But what we are always told is never leave a horse without getting him done what you want to do. And it's a wrong practice. So make him trot once and then you get off the horse.
See,
Otherwise,
I'm going to take that thing and collaborate your question in it. Exactly. Good point and good question there. So you said still people are using whips and getting off with their jobs and everything is there. Horsemanship is not a Harvard degree, so you don't have to have it to have a good job. It's about understanding. So people always, Charlotte says, like, she has seen people, those who are having a horses on the street, they're earning their living and they're giving best to their horses. Maybe better food what they could eat in the lunch because they ate maybe the fruit out of the cart. That's not a staple food. You can eat orange 2 days, but not third day. You need a salt and spice and chapati and the vegetables. But horses are getting a green fodder, which a horse likes every day. So that means they're feeding their horses better than they can have. So it's not a question of that people don't like animal or they're beating, they're not looking after. It's just a lack of education. They didn't have the education. Whatever they're doing, that's the best they know. So out there in the world, the education is not there to teach them, you can do a little bit better than this. And it can also help in you because if you have a good horse, he's not going to rest. He's going to walk with you more. You come back to job more. And then it makes plus for everybody. Both are happy. So that is important thing. So yes, people are beating the horses, but not everybody is a bad person. Sometimes they only know this because in India, we know when I was studying in my 5th standard, I got so many beating from a maths instructor. I hope he's not listening and he's going to say anything. Our parents, mom.
Yeah.
So we don't mind anyway now, but we know this is not right practice, but that was the only education they had. So they used it, and this is what happening with the horses, people, those who own. That is the only education they have. They have no other better way to do it. Maybe they might opt it if you teach them something better, then don't do this and this will work. So that is the thing. So what they get from our education, or not our education, the horsemanship, is that they get a little bit more perspective about what can be done. How can I look after better? So that is there. And then your question. So you see?
If I can add, because it happens to me also, and I always ask the question, okay, what's going on with me? Is it a me thing or is it a her thing? And sometimes it's me, and I can sense, I have a lot on my mind and I don't have the right energy. So if I don't have the right energy, either I find a way to get the right energy, or I accept that this is not the right place or time. But sometimes it's the horse, right? Sometimes the horse is also having a bit of a day. And in this case, and this is what you say a lot, is have a plan but don't fall in love with it.
Yeah, Monty says all the time.
And that links to what you were saying in terms of which I had too in my traditional riding, is like, get what you want. Rather, what we say is end on a good note for both of you, right? Yeah, and that's much more important, and the horse will learn much more, right? So if the horse ends on a very bad note, the learning is usually zero. But So let's say, for example, that you go and you see that your horse is, I don't know, not in the right mindset. You think, okay, my plan was to ride. Maybe I won't ride today, but maybe we can do something at liberty. Maybe we can have an interaction on the ground. And if you're trying to get something specifically done and it's not working out, you can say, okay, well, I was asking 10, let's ask 7, or let's ask 5, or let's ask 3. I got 3. Good job, well done, we'll build on for tomorrow. And that's what I mean, that it transforms your relationship, because you leave as a team, not as like, the horse won once again. It's that collaborative experience.
Wow.
I think it's a
Thanks for that.
companionship, right? It's not that people who have done this horsemanship, or if they understand the horse, they will have a better companionship where the horse is also enjoying and the human is also enjoying. That's how it should be,
Yeah.
right?
So ending a good note, it's exactly the same thing, because
Thanks so much
as
for
you say,
that,
they
yeah.
associative thinker. They associate you with a good note. With horses, a lot of latent learning happens when they go back to this table. Then they think in the night, you know what? Okay, what just happened today? I didn't do this, but then she didn't hit me. We went out and she asked me one thing, I did it. And so ending up on a good note doesn't mean that I need to push him to get at least something, otherwise we will end up in a bad mood. Just get him to do something which he's comfortable, because he's not learning trot, canter, jump here and there. He's thinking why I'm here and what I'm gonna get out of this, and when I left, what happened there. So tomorrow, if you want to bring him here, you need to end up in a good note. It doesn't matter. You wanted to canter, he didn't go. Trot, he didn't go. Get up, ask him go left, right, reward him out, because he did 2 things when you asked. So he left with a good note because she asked me and I did it and I got it off. Okay, so
Okay,
release.
that's the message what
So
we are
it's
sharing.
just ending in a good note. Doesn't have to have the same agenda there. I want him to jump today. He's not jumping. Don't jump. Remove the bar. Walk through the fence. That's it.
Amazing.
Done. He did. So you see, yes, no game. Exactly. No is very harsh for a human brain to handle it. Yes is positive. So give positive. So anything you're ending up with the positive note. So the horse will come back next day. Oh, yesterday was fantastic. I did this. You build up from there. So ending in a good note is always like look for them. See, Monty says, or he has quoted already, a good trainer can make horse do anything, but a great trainer can cause a horse to do things for you. So you want to make a horse who wants to willingly be with you. Doesn't want to, like, you know what, she comes with the whip, I have to do it. So he's a master champion, Grand Prix horse. How does it matter if he bites you later?
True.
And biting is also not a problem, because most of the time biting is the last resort which horse takes. It always associated with uncomfortableness or a pain, because they've been telling us we are not looking at it. This is the only thing which they'll get our attention from, because rest they've been telling from 50 years. So nobody's listening. Now what to do? I bite or kick, because then they will pay attention. You've been telling them for like 10, 15 times. Every time they did this thing, I did something, they not pay attention. So ending up on a good note is you choose, because you are a trainer here. You don't want to make your horse do things. You want your horse want to do things with you.
Wonderful.
So
Sure.
Makes super sense. I completely agree with you. I think moving on to the next one, we have too many questions and too many topics to talk about it. Probably we will pick it up in our next episode. But to give more information to the viewers right now, what is Manjeev Natural Horsemanship offering? What kind of programs are you offering to what kind of people? If you can elaborate.
okay, first of all, I will put light on to what we do. We follow concept of Monty Roberts in India, because since I'm a certified instructor, I will follow his concept, and I follow because I believe in those, and which is non-violence, and then understand the horse psychology and make them your good companion or be a partner of a horse. So that is what is the baseline what we teach, and to get that goal, we have different courses. One which is affiliated from California, from his own Monty Robert International Learning Center. People, those who want to learn and be instructor, it's a route, it's a critical path for them. They can choose. It has 4 different levels, and every level you can do it separately. You can do it in a different instructor places. Like in India, I'm the only one. So the first level can be done in India. which is like introductory course and the exam. But for the second level, which is intermediate, you have to go to California and do it in the learning center because it involves a lot of untouched and wild horses. Unfortunately, we don't have wild horses in India and no untouched horses. Every horse born on some property or stables. And then once you become an intermediate instructor, then you go for the advanced and you become instructor. So that is the path to become instructor. But having said that, you don't need to do all those things because a lot of people, those who have horses, they don't want to be instructor. They just want to understand. So the first introductory course that can be done everywhere, wherever the instructors are and they're following the Monty's concept in their learning center. So that is one thing they can do it. But there's another thing attached to it because it comes from California and the certificates and the registration to the online learning center happens there. So it has a different cost. But we do have certain courses in India under our own name because everybody is not that wealthy to pay the courses. And those courses, they have a price because they come from different places and they have a different plus points because you become directly connected to Monty and a learning center. So it has a privilege there. But the other courses, like we have Introduction to Natural Horsemanship, which is a 1-day course. There are weekend courses. There are courses which is of 3 days. So depending on who wants to have what. There are people, those who are beginner into the horse industry, equine industry, they just want to understand how this thing works because their kid wants to ride or they themselves wants to ride. Or some people, those who want to buy a horse because now their kid or themselves, they have enough expertise to have the equine partner with them. So they want to have a horse, but they don't know how to manage it. So stable management and the things around horses. And then is the training aspect because if you have horse now, what you're going to do, like you have to train them. So all these different levels we teach here. So there are different segments, number of days because it needs a different kind of input. So you have to have a hands-on experience. And it's not like you take a course and you become expert. It's just the education and then you go back and practice more and then you come back for the second course. So we do also have certain things which people are like from the job and they don't have enough time or they cannot take a holiday for 3 days or 4 days. We do have a package of 10 days which can be conducted on a weekend. So people do come to us like a 1 hour in a weekend and continue their journey of the understanding of equine. But yes, we have different level of education. So it depends what level are you educated so far or where you want to start. Yes, there are certain prerequisites because you can't go to the third level because it is a bit more advanced. You have to have the first and two to be able to. Not because we want you, but it has to have that kind of experience. You don't want to put your hand to a young horse if you don't know how to handle the lines or the halter, or there are certain things like how to position yourself, where to be, just for your own safety and the animal safety. But yeah, as I said, it's 10 days, 3 days, weekend, 10 package, like 10 classes package, or 1 hour at every weekend. So it's all mentioned on our website. But we take student which is 5-year-old to 80-year-old. There is no age because riding has no age.
Wonderful.
And learning has
5 years is a starting point. So they
I
can,
just want him to able to listen to me because horses are big. I can't carry a toddler. I can do that, but then there's no education.
Right.
If 5-year-old kid at least starts to walk, able to touch the horse,
Right.
able to feel, hold the tack, understand what it is, have a bush. I can lift the kid, but the kid has a little energy or a positive side of it to brush the horse. I want to see them smiling because below 5 years, I don't know they're smiling because they like it or because the dad is standing on the other side or because of the horse. So I said maybe 5 because I had a student, she was 5-year-old below the knee of the horse. She was putting a
Wow.
bandage.
Wow.
That is the youngest student I've ever had with me.
Wonderful.
But yes, you can, just because at least they're understanding. I'm sure the kid, those who are 3, 4, 5, we saw in Mongolia, 3-year-old kid, he comes with his own horse.
Wow.
3, 4, 5, they're sitting on a horse, they're falling asleep while they're waiting for something. And the horse standing there.
Amazing.
And there's no fences. So if the horse takes off, it'll take off for 100 kilometers. There's no turning, there's no tree, there's no ditch. It's all straight line. But early you start, it's better. But for my education, because if I'm talking, they should be able to understand what I'm saying. So 5, I would say it's okay, fair. I can do broken Hindi, English, whatever they understand. Help mom or dad to explain what I'm saying. So I think 5 to
Wonderful.
80, I would say, because after 80, I don't know, I'll be able to recognize anybody or not. Maybe from 70 onwards, who knows nowadays. If you live in pollution the way we
Well,
live
we
in,
just had a 71-year-old lady with
but
us
they don't
for
stay
2
here.
weeks.
No, yeah, we have also volunteer programs, so people do come from different part of the world because first of all, our country, a lot of history, a lot of color. People want to come and experience our country. But why not? When you're coming that far and you have 15, 20 days to travel around and see, this is another good positive thing. So people do mix it. They come 1 week travel, 1 week stay with us. Some people stayed for a month with us and learn like what all things we do, because going towards maybe California is difficult because it's on the other side of the planet. Coming down to India and able to do the same thing which Monty teaches there, I think is plus plus. And I would think like Monty will be happy at the end of the day that his concepts are being spread over, whether he's teaching or his students are teaching. We are around now, I think around 70, 75 of instructors all over the world teaching his concept and carrying on his legacy. So I'm very fortunate that I'm part of his legacy too.
Amazing.
So all these courses are there, but there is no limitation. If there is somebody who wants to understand something, I take calls in the middle of the night too. You know what, my horse is doing this. Yes, you need to see your horse, but then also you need to tell somebody, you know, what to do until you get a good answer for that thing. Because sometimes we get ourselves into a position where we get hurt. So we need to stand on our 2 legs before we help anybody else. So that's the most important thing.
One question I had is about the workshops, what you said. If people are coming and learning at your place, they don't have horses, but they want to get all these education and then they want to apply. So will they have an opportunity to come there and work with your horses?
Yeah, we have like people, those who do courses, because you need to have experience. Yes, sure. So there are, what you call them?
Refreshers.
Yeah, refreshers. So because it's all hand-on experience, we human pick up bad habits very quickly. We go back home and 10 days we don't do it, and 11th day there is something which I'm doing which is not supposed to be done. So yeah, so there are other add-on courses which you can come back and practice on our horses. So for sure, yes, because
that's
we
great.
didn't have horses, we know how complicated it is.
Right.
And not everybody has the liberty to go and travel around.
True.
If I had
That's
horses,
great.
I would have been doing something else probably. But yes, no, they can come after they do the courses. They can come back, and because why we teach with our horses, because you need to have a safe horse to start with. In the equation, one has to be experienced, either the horse or a trainer. Green and green is always black. So
In my case, my horse is experienced. So he's
one
handling
has to
me
be
well.
experienced for sure. Sometimes people say, you know what, I have a toddler and I want to buy a foal, so they will race together. Disaster combination. I would never suggest that thing. You don't want it.
True.
Have a grown horse, because the horse will understand the kid is new and the kid didn't mean what the kid did. Or other way around, if I'm expert, then I can guide a young horse. But young and young, it's difficult. They're both figuring it out, and as long as they're young, it's okay. But the horse grow faster than the toddler, and they move faster. So it's not a very nice combination.
True.
Completely agreed.
One thing I wanted to ask him, because I just remembered when we were looking for our second horse to accompany our older one at home, we were looking for the horse in every village. You know how the contacts works. They just call and say, there's a, what do you call the...
Breeder?
No, the younger female horse. What?
Filly.
Filly, yeah,
Yes.
filly. I'm not getting that word. So they used to just call us and say, there's a filly up for sale. Why don't you come and see? Like 3-year-old who's just also started riding. So when we used to go and see them, it used to be a very emotional thing for us, because they used to use this bit which had thorns,
Yeah.
especially in villages. So do you want to just give them a message?
You know, I just read a post today, Chhattisgarh, I think, or Jharkhand. They completely ban this spike bit. They forbid
Yeah,
to
I
use
read.
in the States. Today only, this is fantastic thing. I always say, you know what, how big that horse is. Horses, when they panic, the brain shuts down. That's how anatomy works. They don't think clear. We don't think clear when we get aggressive. We have no idea. And next morning we think, what did I do? So imagine the horse whose reacting time is 3 times faster than us. So when the horse is panicked, he does not think and he will go. You will see. Otherwise, why would a horse go to the wall or a fence? He can see the fence, he can see the car, he can see the tree. But you see horses barge into things and break themselves, kill themselves, hurt themselves, or the rider too, because they're worried. When they worry, they do not think. It's not how nature built them. Because what happened, they just have to overrun, like outrun the predator who's going to kill them. So everything, the oxygen sends all the messages to their muscle. The most oxygen goes to their muscle so they can run faster, gain more distance, and save themselves. All they have to do is outrun the last one on their own species, because that will become a lunch and he'll be saved. So have to be second last in that race. So that is how the nature built them. They have to run. So same thing, when the horse panics or worries, it doesn't matter. You put a sword in their mouth, they'll go through. We don't see, like when the horse wants to take you, he will take you. The pain is not the problem. You cannot win that war with the horse with muscle. He's only taking as long as he can tolerate you. The day he will say, you know what, this is done. You put spike or you put spine or you put anything in my mouth, I'm taking it, because today is the day I had enough. So yes, it's not the question of what you want to put in the mouth. If you train your horses right, you don't need to put anything in their mouth. As you said yourself, if your horse can go on a walk, trot, canter on your voice, why can't you say stop?
I would like to add to this, because you get calls, people saying, oh, at this riding club, they're treating the horses badly, the horses are skinny, or they're using bad equipment, or things like that. You as a buyer, you as a client, you have the power. The money has the power. And so there's the spike bit, and there's also the metal brush. That metal brush is to brush brushes, not horses. Okay? But grooms use them because they are extremely efficient to clean a horse. They are incredibly unpleasant, which is why so many horses in riding clubs in India hate being brushed. Okay? You go to a riding club, you see anybody with that metal brush, please go to the boss and say that I won't be riding here anymore if you're using this brush. Check the bits also. If you go to a hotel, if you go to a temple, if you go anywhere where there's a horse, you ask them to open the mouth, you check the bit. If there's spikes, you tell them that you won't pay until they're using this, okay? And this is the most efficient way to be doing this, because that's what matters at the end of the day. And we are, when we get calls of somebody saying, oh, that club, the horse is very skinny, go and speak to the owner. Say, I won't be riding here until the horse is put on weight. It works. It works because people will do it for the business. So it's a very, very important thing to be able to do. And also, that doesn't always work, but sometimes does. You see somebody who's using a spine bit, you carry the spare ones with you. You say, hey, try this one, okay? We know people with whom it worked. We know people who were like, try this one, and they were like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, why not? I hadn't seen this one, and they switch, and they see the difference.
So we have a friend in Udaipur, I think we mentioned you, Krishna.
Yeah.
Whenever he gets a horse, he says, give me the bit. And he exchanges with a good bit. He takes the horse, take that bit, and give them a fresh bit. So this is how he's changing slowly. Every time he go anywhere, he just take the old one, give the new one.
Great.
Which is nicer one, so spiky. But as I said, education is the problem, because if you have the education, there are cases, I shouldn't be mentioning it, but there are burn marks on horse legs. Different thoughts. I am not going to defend those things. Maybe they have their reasons, but I am saying at the end of the day, education is the problem. There are certain things which works, like one of the movies I saw, like we used to put a coin in a river. When the coin used to clear water, it was copper. Now the same coin we do it, it's not copper anymore, it's polluting water more. So the ritual is there, custom is there, but we do not adapt ourselves accordingly. So same thing, maybe that technique might have used for certain thing at that time for something. Worked perfect because that guy was educated. Ayurveda had a lot of power before any modern science. But I don't think so. We have that education now. So instead of just continuing without finding any root cause why it has been done and what was the benefit, we still follow sometimes things which makes no sense. So yes, education is the only thing. Sometimes that thing was working, this is not working. Like square Earth, round Earth, we are evolving day to day. So we should evolve. Like it's
Super.
not bad thing. Yes, we did mistakes in our life. Everybody does it. But then when we have a chance to learn new things, we should learn better things.
Makes
Super.
sense. I'll be carrying few number of bits in my bag now. It makes really good sense for us.
Great. I think I had a super amazing conversation with both of you today.
Thank you.
There are some key takeaways from my side also. I think I'm going to apply that. But I still wanted to discuss many things, but probably in the next one, definitely. It's been a really great conversation, Manjeev and
No,
Charlotte.
it's been thank you.
So
Thank you for
thanks a
calling.
lot for coming here today. This is it for today. And thanks for making some time, giving some good knowledge about horses and how important the horsemanship is, rather than just going blindly with horse or going to riding school without even understanding about the behavior of horses or emotions of the horses. I think this is a really great episode. Thanks a lot for stepping in.
Thank you very much for
Thank you
calling
for
us.
having us.
It's been a pleasure.
And for what you're
It's
doing.
it's always good to
Yeah.
have you guys. I have so many things to discuss about Mustangs, your training with them,
Yeah.
and it is so inspiring, and definitely about your adventurous experience with the horses, those lovely moments. What you
Yeah,
want to
so
share.
your one question we'll do it next time,
Yeah,
which is
in the next
1 minute or
episode.
1 moment. But yeah,
But it was amazing. So what I learned from today's episode is it's always a learning. It's so good to talk to you guys every time. But again, I'm going to look myself into the mirror whenever there's something going wrong,
I think
and ask myself, why is my horse behaving like this today? What's wrong with me?
yeah. What can I do better? That's how we
Yes,
can handle the situation. You
and-
know what? I think Salma Hayek said this in one of our podcasts or interviews on TV. You know what? If you abuse me and I don't understand that language or that what you call like the understanding of those alphabets, if I have no sense about it, there is no power in it.
Yeah.
So we give power. So if this happens to you when something is not happening right, you just improve yourself. That's the only thing you can do. Charlotte says, just change what you call, change the narration for yourself. You think how you want to think, and then the thing will become that way. If you want to be nagging person, then it'll be a negative. But if you look at it or convert into a positive way, then it'll become positive. So you give power or you make them powerless. It's up to you. So our learning and our day-to-day work is also the same thing. You know what? Okay, now I'm going to see what's not working and why it's not working, because questioning is the most important thing. That's what we don't do. It's easy to say that's not working or you are not working.
Wonderful.
But it's good. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm happy that there is something we can do it together.
Yeah.
We do it all the day.
And also ending with a good note was a good
It's
takeaway.
very good. It's a very important thing. Anything. It's not horses.
Works
Yeah.
with husbands too.
Yeah. But in day-to-day life, with the office, with staff, anywhere you go, horses don't teach you only about horsemanship. They teach you about yourself. So
Absolutely. That's so wonderful. And we have to really talk about your own horses, your dogs,
Oh
your
my God.
cats.
you
in the
need to
next
have 100
episode.
episodes for that. And it's not going to
Would
be
love to
enough.
make 100 episodes.
Yes, if there is a chance, definitely why not? We will definitely make it.
Yeah, for sure. And then you'll find me sitting here. I think you need to change the chair. I'll break the chair.
Because you guys are so much involved, especially Charlotte is involved with so many dogs, with
Oh, yeah.
the shelter, friendly course. There are lots to discuss and it's never ending. But thank you so much for taking out time today.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Great.
Here today with us discussing so much which maybe all our viewers can benefit out of.
You have a great one.
Thank you. Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
So this is it for today. And I just want to give you a quick message that there are a lot of kids where parents want to send their kids to riding school without even just checking what the riding schools are doing. But I always say knowledge is more important. Um, education is very, very important. So before even thinking of sending your kids to any riding school, teach your kids to understand the horse before even getting on to the riding skills. So that actually helps one, improves empathy in your kid, and there are a lot of things which your kid might be learning, and at the same time he will be or she will be enjoying with the horse, and horse will be enjoying with your kid, and horse can give the best ride ever. With this note, please let us know how you felt about this episode, and give us more comments, and let us know what kind of topic you want to cover in our next episode with Manjeev and Charlotte, and we will try and cover it. Thank you, and have a great one.